It's been 2.5 years since Africa declared itself open for business. Last year, foreign direct investment in Africa grew by 64% to $87 billion. But since then, a fall in demand for commodities has taken its toll on the region. Earlier today, the IMF downgraded its growth forecast for sub-Saharan Africa to 3.7% this year, the weakest pace since 2009. So what is the outlook like for investment in Africa now? I'm joined by New Group CEO of Ecobank, the largest Pan-African bank on the continent, AYEYEMI. And what do you think, sir, about the IMF's reduced growth forecast? Do you agree?
I think the forecast is a reflection of the current environment but we're looking at 1 year outlook. We're not looking at further into the future. If you think about it, there is the need for reaction to the various changes, whether it is in prices of commodities, some electoral political issues. But I think the 3.5%, do I agree with 3.5%? That is a forecast. It is now the responsibility of the government of the country and the people in the country to make sure that we actually grow better than that, because it's a forecast. A forecast is looking into the future, looking at today as the best estimate. It's the best estimate of what IMF can do today.
Sure.
But that assumes that we are holding things constant. But we can work harder, we can work faster to make sure that it's better than that. So it's not a question of do I agree or do I disagree. It's a reflection of today,
sure,
but we can make it better.
Well, let's look at today. One of your most important markets is, in fact, Nigeria, and we know that there's been so much restriction to the currency market and getting dollars in and out of the country. Has that been a challenge for you in your business there?
The short answer to that is yes. But let's go back.
Can we open up
at the beginning of this year, the best outcome, the issue facing Nigeria was politics. And none of us none of us will have thought that a good election will have happened in a peaceful way. Transition from one government to another will have happened in the country in a peaceful way this year. It happened. So I try to focus. When I focus for this year and I look at Nigeria, my concern was not the currency restriction. My concern was political transition.
Risk.
And now that we have good political transition, yes, there are challenges in the environment because of the currency restriction. I hope the currency restriction will get removed soon. But we should look at the good things that has happened. The political transition has laid a foundation for a better future for the country.
Is that political transition complete? We only got the names of a cabinet today. It's not clear who's going to be leading up the economic team. Do you consider that transition to be complete?
In a presidential system, once a president is sworn in, the executive is complete. Now, of course, there is a need for the president to appoint ministers that will work with him. The legislature is complete once the legislature is sworn in. The judiciary is always in continuity. The people, the bureaucracy continues to work. So I get it that we need to have the leadership of the various ministries to get announced. But the government did not get paralyzed because the ministers have not been announced. Now that the ministers are announced, we hope that they will quickly fill the vacuum that has been created, announce the various policies, engage with the private sector and the rest of the international community so that whatever is lost can be regained as quickly as possible.
Have you seen any of your clients delay investment decisions because of the delay in getting an economic team together?
I think clarity has been what some of our clients were looking for. I think now they will start getting the clarity. But the most important thing, the biggest thing that was concerning clients at the beginning of this year was political transition. When that happened, they become happier. Remember, democracy is expensive, but it's the only thing that can be longer lasting. Therefore, when you are having political dialogue, democracy is expensive, as I said, but it is something that can give us a longer lasting situation. With the way the government is being selected now, what we've been told is that this is to make sure that they have a better foundation, they restructure the government so that they can deliver. And if we are paying the price of some delay in terms of bringing that to happen, if you focus on the outcome, which is to have a government that is transparent, leakages that are blocked, and therefore going into the future, the resources are better used, for the governed, not for individuals and few. Therefore, it will become a better environment to do business. And to me, yes, there's a price being paid, but it's a price worth paying.
And broadening out from Nigeria, are you seeing any evidence that investors are looking to help Africa transform from a resource-driven economy into other industries?
Yes, we can say that. Whether it is in East Africa, we see opportunities being explored by people. In the rest of the West African countries, we see opportunity being explored by people. In the Southern African countries, we see opportunity being explored by people. If we go to even as far as Ethiopia, we see people exploring those opportunities. Because the biggest advantage that the continent has is the internal market, internal demand. And to be able to use imported capital to meet that demand at the price point that is good, because the return on capital is still one of the highest in the world, in the continent. Therefore, people are going in and say, okay, you got an internal demand of 1 billion people that has not been well served. If we can put our businesses to serve these people, given the price point that they're willing to pay, the return on the investment and return on equity is much higher than other places. The challenge before has been political stabilities and wars and co. Now, when those things are getting reduced and certainty is coming to the continent, it makes it easier for people to say, let's look longer than next year forecast in terms of GDP. Foreign direct investment are not done on an annual basis, they are done on a longer term basis. So when they see that longer term being looking much more assured than historically it has been, it then makes the environment compelling to invest.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir, very much. And I hope you'll come back next time you're in London.
Thank you.
Thank you.